And we're live. I'm sorry. Okay, now we're live.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Curing My Stage Fright. I'm Julie, and in today's episode, I sat down with singer, songwriter, actor, multi-hyphenate creative person, as you will hear me say again in 1 minute, Danny Ritz. Danny is awesome. I had such a fun conversation with him. Lots of side tangents, all relevant, all fun, all funny. I really think you will enjoy this episode. I know I did. Unfortunately, we lost some footage on the second camera angle, so that's a little bit upsetting for the viewers, but you can use your imagination. Danny goes to camera many times in this episode. You'll have to settle for one angle. All right, I'll see you on the other side. So Danny is, I want to introduce you, you're a singer-songwriter, actor, musician, multi-hyphenate, Phi Beta Kappa Stanford graduate looking to join a dynamic environment and help the team solve everyday problems. Does that sound about right?
That's some things.
Okay, awesome.
I'm glad you found my LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to find.
LinkedIn has, since starting this podcast, become like one of my favorite social media tools because there's
that's
always
all
another side of a person that you cannot tell from their Instagram.
I just fixed that. I just added that. I just started solving everyday problems.
Really?
Yeah.
You haven't been solving everyday problems before?
No, they've been emerging.
Can you name an everyday problem that you've solved recently?
I got paid we didn't have paper towel. I was out of town for a couple of days. We didn't have paper towel in my apartment, so I got some.
Nice. That's awesome. That's working with the team.
Are you listening, LinkedIn? That's going to be my next community post. I think those things are hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm warning you that I might go on a few tangents.
That's fine.
I'm like in an award show. They'll never give me an award out of fear of the kind of speech I would give.
Because you're going to go up and you're going to talk for 20 minutes and it's going to be like unrelated.
It'll be very tangential.
Yeah.
I like a tangent, but.
Okay.
And I forget what it was.
We'll come back to it later.
Yeah,
we'll go on several tangents that full circle bring us back to this tangent.
Some will come to fruition.
Okay.
Many won't.
Great. Well,
I can't remember it. Anyway, sorry.
Well, I'm happy to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here, especially because, not to say that people are not excited to be on my podcast. Most guests are so thrilled to be on my podcast, but
right.
You in particular have been like very excited about this, which leads me to believe that you have a special relationship to the topic at hand, which is stage fright. And I want to know about why you have that eagerness to talk about it. What's that? What is that for you?
I don't know.
Of course, this is going to involve going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, we'll go down the rabbit
your
hole.
Life and experiences as a performer, which I recently realized are not just musical.
No, which
related.
is so funny.
Yeah,
that's been honestly one of the funniest things. One of the funniest things, like, because I'm in school at Berkeley right now.
Yeah.
And it's like I recently have realized it's like anytime you walk into a room, you have the sort of context of your whole life and all your experiences, but people only really know what you present to them. And like so like I've been an actor. I've been making music. Like I started making music when I was in college, and like coming to Berkeley was my choice to take it seriously, I suppose. Like I'd put stuff out before, but it was always like, I was like doing other things because like, like a lot more of my experience was in theater, like as an actor. And, I always felt sort of, I had the urge to kind of make my own work. Yeah. Just because I think, a lot of what my like people I looked up to did and everything. But that world, I was telling someone, parentheses, Sam, yesterday, how that world is just so much more demystified to me than the music world. So it's been so funny at like having situations where it's like, I guess you can meet me and think that I'd been a musician for a long time.
Which is what I did.
And I really don't feel like that, which is like so funny. It's like I've been a singer for a long time. And,
right.
And a lot of my like, it's funny, like about like stage fright or whatever, like at this point in my life, and maybe it's because being a performer just like feels like a part of my identity. But when I walk onto a stage, I think that's honestly when I feel my most comfortable. Like that's
Really?
just when the world makes sense to me. I mean, there's still that adrenaline, but it's just like, I don't know. It just makes sense to me. It's just like, yeah, it's like I don't wear glasses, so this could be a load of bullshit. But it's like what I imagine putting on glasses for the first time is like when it's just like everything kind of clarifies. What other people articulate as stage fright, those emotions or what it's associated with. Perhaps that sort of fear of failure is maybe in there, or like, which is definitely something I think I feel a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I feel that in like non, I guess like performing doesn't feel very permanent to me. And in more permanent things like writing and all that other stuff, that feels more, that's when I feel more like.
Like you'd be more afraid to publish a novel or an article or something.
I'd be afraid to publish a novel just 'cause I don't think I could get, that many pages out.
But like
I studied creative writing, but it was short stories.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I wanted
keep
to
it brief. I keep it brief. No, I'm just kidding.
You did start this by saying you keep it brief, and then you said I love to go on tangents.
Yeah, I'm a liar.
You gave me a very succinct description of your life up until now. So you're doing a really good job. There's a car going by.
I've paid all these drivers to create disruptions. In case I said anything that maybe I wanted, people to forget. I paid cars to go by so that people would be like, he said something, but then a car went by.
Yeah, a car went by.
And
horn went off.
Whenever I hear a car, I forget what was said before.
I'm sure that's a common phenomenon. Listeners, if you find that you forget things when cars go by,
if you've ever
leave a comment below. Yeah.
Call 1-800-EAR problem.
I always get so confused. This is a tangent. When the phone number is longer than what a phone number is allowed to be.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know how they let you do that.
Yeah, call 1-800. This is the number that you should call.
Right, and you do it, and then you have to decode like, okay, A is 1 or A is 2.
Yeah, you really got to go full Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
I was trying to play. I got a baritone ukulele in the mail today. Very excited.
I saw that when I came in here.
And I literally just...
What are the strings?
What are the strings?
Yeah.
They're the top 4 strings of a guitar.
Oh, great.
And I realized today, this is a fun musical fact about me, is that I don't know anything about stringed instruments.
Oh, nice.
I was like, the intervals between the last 4 strings of the guitar are the same intervals, just in a different tuning as on the ukulele. Ukulele strings are G, C, E, A, and then the guitar would be D, G, B, F. I meant E. So intervals between each one. This was me like an hour ago doing exactly what you're trying to parse it out. And I brought that up for some reason. And it doesn't matter what it was.
That's so cool.
Thank you. I just learned it today. And as a person who struggles to be perceived as a real musician, I'm like, I gotta know better.
Oh no, you are. You have 2 instruments in here.
I have 2 instruments in here, and they're both
on my way over here. This is true. On my way over here, I was walking by the park that we're near.
Yes.
Herbert's Park. At Herbert Von King. I don't know Herbert.
Okay. Yeah.
I hope he's doing well.
You're doxing me. It's okay.
Is that bad?
It's fine.
Should I say the address?
There's so many. Yeah. Just say the full address. I'll make a car go by when you do it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm sorry about that. Somebody was outside on their stoop playing. Have you ever heard of something called an OP1?
No, what's that?
It was like a very popular synth, but like a hardware synth that was like kind of like a built-in DAW. Like you could just make music on it.
Okay, cool.
It was very popular in like the early 2010s. Like if you know the musician Grimes, she was married to Elon Musk at one point. She also, she makes such good music.
Does she really?
Yeah, she makes incredible music, and she did that. It's just bizarre. It's like, come on, man. And she's at her favorite food is like fucking like plain spaghetti or something. Am I allowed swearing? Okay.
Yes, you already did it, and
did I do it before?
You did, and that's okay. You're allowed to do it.
Oh crud.
Oh shoot.
Oh shucks. No, she's an interesting cat.
Yeah.
But somebody was playing with it, and I was like, that's enough. Like, that's enough. You really like music. It's like one of the most intimidating things about it. It's definitely the most intimidating thing to me. But it's also
music.
Like the most intimidating thing to me about being a musician, because I don't feel like a real musician half the time either.
Right, which is crazy, and we'll get into why I think that's crazy in a minute. But
is that it's like so democratic. There's like the border I feel like between being a musician and not being a musician is like so permeable. It's so thin.
Yeah.
But it's also like, you know, there's like, it's, you know, it's the garden. I feel like the music, whether it's like, as soon as the word music is followed by career or preceded by professional, it becomes like the garden or you know, islands of bullshit. Like it seems so vague. And, you know, I'm definitely speaking from the perspective of somebody who's like, is like gradually like demystifying that world. But I don't know. You're probably a real musician because you got that cool instrument off the internet.
Yeah, because I got a baritone ukulele on Sweetwater and
Sweetwater. They give you candy.
They give me. There was no candy in my box today.
Okay,
and I even said, "Where's my fucking Laffy
literally
Taffy?"
sue them.
Yeah. Ryan, if you're listening, that's my Sweetwater guy.
That's the only time I'll eat a Laffy Taffy.
Yeah.
I don't seek out a Laffy Taffy.
No, but if I get one and it's unfortunately the only good candy that they give you. Some people like Red Hots. I don't. It's like a Laffy Taffy, a Red Hot, a Tootsie Roll.
Or a Mint or a Diner Mint.
Yeah, and I'm not into the Diner Mint.
I love a Diner Mint.
You love a
You're
Diner
from New
Mint?
Jersey. You don't like a Diner Mint?
I don't like a Diner Mint. I like sometimes they would give you like the soft marshmallowy things. I like those
that
more
stuff
than
is
the,
rancid.
more than the Diner
I don't like
Mint.
whenever there's like anytime you get like an individually wrapped marshmallow product, you got to turn around.
I don't know. The mints were hard. I have sensitive teeth, so I think that was tough for me. My dad would always take a toothpick at the end of the diner. I have memories of him. Yeah, he goes up, somebody takes a mint, he takes a toothpick.
I used to play a game with my brother, one of my brothers. I have 3 older brothers. I don't know if I told you that.
Cool.
Or if you sleuthed that on the internet.
It might have actually come up in one of the many articles that I read about you, which we will also get into.
But there's this fantastic Japanese restaurant in my neighborhood that we would go to growing up.
In the Philadelphia area.
In the Philadelphia area.
Okay. You're an East Coaster. You're an East Coaster, West Coast for college, back to the East Coast.
Correct.
Okay, cool. Anyway. Just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah, right off of the Pennsylvania Turnpike, there's a Japanese restaurant I'm quite fond of.
Okay.
And they used to give you mints when you they used to give you mints when you with the check you get mints.
Okay, yeah.
It's very diner behavior for this Japanese restaurant. I've seen that,
I think, in Japanese restaurants before.
Great. So it's these two and others.
Yeah.
But then they also had mints in a bowl. Mm-hmm. And at the place where you say hi and get your table. You don't say hi. You just get your table. I would say hi.
Yeah. What is that called?
I know the person is called the host.
Yes.
The hostess.
But is it like the host's like
lair?
Like, yeah, their cavern.
The cavern, yes.
I've never thought
of it. It's our little cave. But they had them in a little bowl, and my brother and I would play this game when we were kids. How many can you take with one hand on your way out?
Okay.
And, we were kids, so our hands were pretty small.
Yeah.
But we were very determined. And then one day, I don't mean to brag on your podcast, but I took like 11 or 12 minutes.
My God.
I think it had to have been 2 fistfuls.
Yeah.
And then the next time we went back, the thing was gone. It was gone.
They knew.
I don't know if they knew it was me.
Yeah.
But they knew.
They said some kid got too big a handful.
Yeah, like they knew
nobody's going to be able to top that.
Yeah. They're like, he won. Game over.
Yeah.
But they still give them with the check. But
right. Because that's a controlled amount. They can give you 3 mints if there's 3 of you.
You gotta steal. You always got to steal the mints.
Yeah.
I officially have no idea why I brought that up.
We
were talking about
diners and
for the
Sweetwater. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn. Yeah. So this is gonna be. I'm not gonna edit any of this. I think. I'm having fun.
That's good.
So let's try. I'm gonna try to rein it in.
I'll be better.
It's impossible for me to rein it in. I don't know how I do it every time. But so I met you recently, within the year.
Under a bridge.
He was like wrapped in a little coat made out of hay. I don't know what people wear under bridges.
Yeah. I was raised and then abandoned by scarecrows.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you, in my perception, are a real musician, as I am probably a real musician. I am a real musician. Julie. I just had a different upbringing than like Sam. I hate to mention him all the time, but I have to because he's the connection to you and several other people. Yes. is like a, singer-songwriter, guitar guy, whatever. I grew up playing concert band, marching band, brass band.
You did?
Percussion, yeah.
What did you do?
I was
Oh my God, you and Vonnie probably talked about
yeah,
that.
oh, when
I'm sure.
Well, Sam told me, he was like, there's a girl in my program who
did the marching band.
Who did marching band.
Yeah.
And I was like, no way. And so, yeah, I did marching band all high school, a mallet player. I played in a British-style brass band for several years in college, doing like timpani and aux and whatever. Yeah.
British-style band.
And it was cool. And so I think that the struggle for me is that I was like always the least. I always felt like I was the least qualified in the band, which is fine and true, but also okay. I really liked it. I did not have a music degree. I didn't study music or anything like that. And you didn't either, as I learned recently, which makes me feel happy that there's hope that people don't need. Like, I kind of grew up in this world of like everybody around me is like studying to be a music teacher or like getting a degree in composition or whatever. And like, how could I be doing what they're doing if, and like, you can.
It's all caca.
Yeah.
To speak Portuguese. Yeah, it's, I actually really relate to that. Cause like being in, it's so funny. Like being in all, like in theater spaces consistently, but like, I like that. It's like, I feel like I overcomplicate stuff all the time, and I'm like, it's just imposter syndrome. But like in like those like highly musical spaces, I definitely always kind of feel like everybody else kind of knows.
Yeah.
Like I and it sounds like you too in some ways. You like, you create that kind of imaginary distance between you and it.
Yes.
But that doesn't exist. Like that doesn't exist, and people always, I feel like, make that about something. Like people create that distance about something. Yeah. But I think like, coming from these kinds of theater spaces, I think I felt and still feel sometimes like, oh yeah, they know, like insert X here knows.
Yeah.
And you're like playing catch up, but like it's all, I mean, I'm always been a firm believer, like, your vision is your vision, and like no amount of training dulls vision. It enhances it until it dulls it. It's like adding colors on to a painting, and then eventually if you add a bunch of colors, it turns into shit mud brown.
Yeah.
And nobody likes that.
Nobody likes that.
Unless you're trying to paint something that's,
right,
poop colored.
In which case, go ahead. But
just live your life. No, but I think like whatever, because I think that kind of distance between, when everyone else seems like they have it together and you're like, kind of gasping for air or whatever. Like I've found myself finding that in like, well, nobody knows how to do what I want to do. And also like, where do you find your vision or your voice or whatever? Like, it's just in what's around you. Like I always joke, like since being in school, because like really the first time I've been around other musicians. Like it's the first, because I started making music while I was in college during COVID. Like, I sang like musical theater, would just like sing this super kind of, I would just sing this super kind of like, I don't know, like I took singing, by the time I was in college, I took singing seriously, and I was not always a good singer, and that's its own story, but but like it was just a very isolated thing. You're gonna have a lot of silences to cut out while I formulate my thoughts. No, it was not an isolated thing, but I always joke that I was like I was too high strung for the music people, because the music people are obsessed with being chill. But I'm too chill for the theater people, because they're all so high strung.
Yeah, it's interesting because you're like a theater kid in disguise. I feel like I wouldn't have really known it, but now that I do know it, I'm like, oh, I totally get it.
Well, all the musicians that I'm with are like, oh my God, you're such a theater kid. Yeah, which is funny that Sam didn't know it. Like I even like when I was at your I played a show in this very room we're in a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago, maybe. Yeah,
and I think before I went on, before the first act started, I was like pretending to be David Bowie playing the show, and I was with a couple friends of mine, and they were like, "You're such a theater kid, like you really got to rein it in, like you know what I mean?" And I just feel like I don't know. There's like, it's so funny. Quotes kind of overrated, but I'm gonna quote Brandy Carlisle.
Okay,
She has this great
good
line,
choice.
and she has a beautiful voice too.
Oakley's like, I'm interested
Yeah,
in hearing
Oakley
what
freaking
Brandy
loves
Carlisle
Brandy
has to say.
Which is, I'm gonna paraphrase, but she has some line where it's like, the place where you feel like you don't belong is where you're most needed.
Yeah.
And I really love that quote.
Yeah.
Not to say like, they need me, but it's like it's like there is space where you feel lonely. It means that there is an absence of space. I think that a lot of the best artists, whether they be musicians or writers or what visual artists, whatever, like it's like standing pat in a space that is empty, and then eventually it fills up. There are bajillion people that are like blank, and when I say blank, we're probably thinking of two different artists, but there's someone we're thinking of, right? Whether it's now or whether it was 20 years ago or whatever. And there's really something to be said for like, I think when I think about myself, it's like I want to be the person that people want to be like.
Yeah.
And there's really no way, you really can't do that unless you just trust your gut, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I was talking earlier about this sort of thing of like, with performing, it's cool and refreshing to hear you say that that's where you feel like the most at home, or the most like
on stage.
Yeah, because
yeah.
like, first of all, that's a theater mentality, I think, and that's less of a musician mentality,
which fucking blows my mind.
Which is crazy, right? I think that there are some musicians who are like that, but I think that a lot of them are so like, I have this vulnerable thing to share and I need everybody to hear it, but what if it's bad and I can't show it? Like, whereas like I have now spent a lot more time around like theater background people, because I've been taking these acting classes.
True.
Which is something that I never really, I did like stage crew in high school and middle school, because I was like, I don't want to be in the spotlight. Actually, I really wanted to be in the spotlight, I think, my whole life, and I was denying that of myself until now, and that's why I have a million projects.
You're in your Al Pacino era.
I'm in my Al Pacino era, and I can't wait to go deeper into it. But like, it's just like, I'm spending a lot more time around like theater people now, and I'm like, oh yeah, I totally see, like, there is like theater is in itself like, you have like the big makeup and the costumes, and the production value of it is like, you're meant to like be blown away by these people, and like the people in those spaces want that. I guess with some music, like Taylor Swift, obviously huge, and I know she's like marketed because she's not.
Not familiar.
I'm gonna spend 20 minutes explaining who Taylor Swift is.
Who? What? How much? Oh my god. No.
Yeah, but like,
I scared Oakley.
It's okay. He doesn't.
Oakley just found out who Taylor Swift is. He's like, I gotta go Google this person.
I gotta go listen to all of her discography.
Yeah.
But like, there's like obviously like big pop artists who are like, their production is played up in the way that like theater is. But like, you get like the like music people, I think, are so like guarded, and yet that this is what I was getting at, is that I was talking about this earlier, where it's like, as scary as it is to do anything like play your music or perform comedy or whatever, it's like, performers all have the innate desire for like, I need something, I need attention, I need validation, and maybe that's not the main root of why you're doing this, but there is like, why else would you be like lauding around, like, or what, that's not the right word, whatever, it doesn't matter.
No, I know what you mean.
Putting yourself out there in this way, and like fighting through, for like me anyway, it's like this like crippling anxiety to like,
why do I keep doing this?
Right.
Is like a
there
question.
Must be there is something.
There has to be a reason.
Yeah.
I keep doing this. I relate to that with writing music a lot, because it really felt like it was, a lot of things in my life that are really special to me kind of started from zero. Singing started from zero, and now it's like something I hold really true.
When did you start singing?
15.
Why did you do that?
Because I wanted to be an actor, and then I was in the musical, and I really liked singing. I like how it made me feel, and I was terrible.
What was your first musical that you did?
The first musical I did was The Music Man.
Love that. I did that in 7th grade. I was in the AV club.
Oh, nice. I did it in the 8th grade. I was Tommy Gillis.
I don't remember.
He's a kid.
Okay.
He's a kid. He's just some kid.
Is he the one who said when they're talking about the how the
he doesn't say
coming?
shapoopy.
No.
Which I gotta say. They ever explain what that means?
No.
Because it's a really stupid word.
It's a stupid word. I mean, they kind of talk about, right? The girl that's hard to get, right? That's the lyric.
Maybe
they explain what it is, but they don't explain.
It's all
why
very.
It is.
It's all a little thin. But then in the brain. But then I did the Seussical musical.
Okay.
Which is the best musical written by a prolific children's author who changed so many lives and also made like propaganda during World War II.
Yes.
It's the #1 musical in that category.
Right.
And there's a lot of space before #2.
Yeah.
Which maybe you could write it. You just need a time machine.
Yeah, and to do a lot of bad
and a little
things.
bit of and write incredible stories and have a little bit of hate in your heart.
Okay, I could do that.
You ready? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think about you were saying like before about like, oh, performers do this. You know, why you keep doing it? I feel like, and you know, I don't know, like what my gut tells me is because there was a long time where I was like, oh, people get in front of audiences because they crave an audience's validation.
Yes.
That is the core reason why. And more, I actually don't feel that to be true.
Okay.
And I think that it's actually connected to, wait, what we were saying earlier, I think it's connected to, wait, I forget why, but I'm just going to like, basically, I'd be losing my train of thought.
It's connected to when you're a kid and you go to the
Japanese restaurant.
You have to take 12 minutes.
No. It's basically like to me the reason that you get in front of an audience is because it feels natural.
Yeah.
I think it's less. I think I remember what it's connected to. Okay. It's connected to the fact that people want to make. I think people want to make art or creativity or imagination into honestly something holier than it is, and keeping art sacred is really important because people trivialize it all the time. People act like it does nothing, and it does so much. But actually, you know, to me, like art it's like oxygen. It's just always there. It's, well, you know, with the oxygen, who knows how long. But anyway, like it's abundant. It's just always going to be there. People have been making it forever. So the urge to make art, whether that's get in front of an audience or whatever, at least for me, like the reason why I get up in front of an audience, like, you know, there are people in my life whose validation I crave. But when I get in front of an audience, it has, you know, more to do with just like, it's more instinct. To me, it's more about like, we have this I at least have this instinct to, you know, I want my world to make sense, and that's how the world makes sense. That's how the world makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure there's also a piece of it that's like, you know.
Yeah, I think that's what
yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's not necessarily the core. I think for some people it is, which is totally fine. But I think that for some people it's like, for me anyway, it's like definitely something that I feel like I've denied myself a long time of like, oh no, I do like it when I can make
I accidentally swallowed the ice. I'll say what happened. I'm not embarrassed at all. I just took a swig in the ice. I ate it, and then I couldn't.
It went down. Yeah.
No, I couldn't crunch on camera.
Oh.
Or actually on audio.
Yeah.
That's some like.
Yeah.
That's like an OnlyFans thing. It's like an ASMR.
That's an ASMR thing.
Yeah.
Which is not. Yeah.
Not what that is.
One time I was drinking like a White Claw or something, and I tried to do it, and I had to like open my mouth a little bit, and then it all like kind of came out. It was a lot. I don't know how these people do it.
I know. Yeah.
And anyway, I think that like, I know what you mean. And yeah, I'm not trying to say that it's like the core tenet of performance is like, I need people to tell me I'm doing a good job. I definitely am somebody who I'm somebody who thrives on recognition.
Yeah.
I just take a test at work recently. I might have talked about this on an episode, but I don't remember. Where it was like, it kind of banks your values, and it kind of is like, how can you be a good corporate drone? But like, oh, it's still helpful. And you're scored on all these different values on a score of 0 to 100. And my recognition score was a 98, meaning I like it when people tell me I do a good job. And my commerce score was a 1, which means I don't care about money at all.
Damn.
I'm not money motivated, I should say. I care about money. I would love to make money doing things like this.
For everyone watching.
Yeah.
Julie cares about money.
I care about money, but I'm not motivated
Both
by
cameras.
money. Yeah. I'm not like motivated by money, like to be like, I want to make like my art my career or whatever. It would be nice, but I think that's more so because it's like, it does fuel me. Like the more I do it, like doing improv, it's like when people laugh, I'm like, oh my God, that's nice. I got to make people laugh, and laughing is the best feeling in the fucking world. And I get to feel like I did it too. So it's like self-serving, but it's also like I'm being funny, I'm being relatable. I think that so much of good art is like, this relates to me.
Yeah.
When you hear that's why people like Taylor Swift are so popular, because people are like, oh, I get that, I got broken up with in high school too.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, and I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan, which is why I'm so ready to just trash talk. But
Totally.
not trash talk.
It's a different podcast.
My wonderful
boyfriend
loves her so much that he's
I know. We've been in rooms, just the two of us, and he'll bring her up.
Yeah, and he really knows.
And in like the nicest way.
Yeah.
I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
But he but yeah, so like there's like
Enough
a
people talk
relatability.
about her.
Yeah.
That's all.
Right, we don't need to do it.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
It's okay. Yeah, so I think it's like there's like the attention, the self-serving, self-motivated part, but there's also the like, yeah, like the more I do it, I find, I guess kind of what you're saying is like, it feels good to like do it. It feels good even like hosting something and being able to be like, hee, I have my little tambourine, I'm just having fun, I don't care, people probably hate this and I'm having so much fun with my little tambourine.
Tambourine was fun.
And it's like, it's just like a nice, like, it feels good. And I think the more I do it, I might kind of lean towards your thoughts on that, where it's like, it just feels like natural. And when I was a kid, I feel like I really wanted to like I was like such a like biggest mouth in the class in kindergarten, allegedly, and I was like, that doesn't sound like me at all. But I think it's because I got to this point and then I was like, I gotta be quiet, I gotta stop.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to like, I think that it is an instinct that I have as well, and I'm like relearning it, whereas I feel like you, it seems like anyway, have been in like theater space for a really long time, and you probably have been able to just like kind of go towards that.
And I think it's a muscle.
Yeah.
Because like I guess that's sort of, I feel like I've been in front of people in ways that would make a lot of people who don't feel comfortable in front of people really uncomfortable.
Okay.
A lot in my life. Like I like, just like being in front of crowds of people and, making shit up on the fly, and just like that feels comfortable to me. So there's just like it's just like a muscle that's been developed.
Yeah.
But the inverse of that is like, and also just like I've always been such a like a people just kind of fuel me.
Yeah.
Like I'm like coming to terms with just like embracing the fact like I'm an extrovert.
Yeah.
Like it's just true. But more recently, like the newer thing, I used to be like terrified of being by myself and like so afraid of being alone, which is just it's so important as an artist for a lot of different reasons, but it's just vital as being a person. Like you just have to know how to be alone or whatever. And I feel like over like the last few years of my life, I really tried to devote, to that. And that's something that like, that's where my stage fright is. It's when I'm on the stage and no one's there and it's just me.
Okay.
Tying it in.
I've never seen you perform by yourself. So
yeah, true.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I know. No, but I think that like the anxiety and the uncertainty, I think uncertainty clouds me most when there's no one there.
Yes.
I would think.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have to backtrack a little bit. So you played, I learned today that you played the cello as a child.
I did. I played the cello for,
which is also crazy,
12 years.
Yeah, and then you were like, this is too big, I don't want to do it anymore.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's funny. I had all these things when I was a kid, like that I was like pretty good at. Like I played the cello for 12 years. I played tennis for like 12 years, both of them, like pretty seriously.
Okay.
And I was just kind of burned out. This was about like 14, I like had kind of like a royal, like I always joke, it's like Royal Tenenbaums with a little more love. It was like my family growing up, you know what I mean?
Royal Tenenbaums is one of my favorite movies in the whole world.
It's a great movie. But like, we were pretty like, just kind of, yeah, very, very kind of like
doing activities
and kind of weird stuff, but it was very normal. Like, and because when you grow up, your world is just sort of, it's your world. It makes total sense, right? But so I feel like I've always had like and those were things that like like my family, like everyone in my family played some sort of instrument, and my dad was a tennis player, so me and my brother played tennis, and I loved it, but I never really had something I really wanted to like take seriously. I honestly don't think I really took anything seriously until I was like 15.
Yeah.
And then singing, like I said, was this thing where I just like wanted desperately to be so good at it, and I wasn't. But gradually over time, like, Yeah, I literally just sang for fun. Like, I used to all the like most resonant rooms of my house. I'd go in and just like, sing all these really hard songs. Like it's funny that like when I perform, the funniest thing about what I've realized about my artist project so far, like myself as a musician, is that like the biggest reference that I can give for people of like what I'm like, they're like, okay. Because it's like, okay, so like, a reference I give oftentimes is like Jeff Buckley or Freddie Mercury vocally. And people are always like, okay. And it's like kind of right. Like, no, I wouldn't say,
yeah. I can say it because I'm not, you know. Okay, if good. You are listening to this or watching this, Danny is like actually one of the best singers I've ever heard. I'm a huge fan of your music. You know this already. I you have this incredible voice and you have this incredible performing persona. And I was talking to Sam about this yesterday because we just went and you guys played at this really lovely reading yesterday night. And it was a beautiful house, high ceilings, love the stage. I want to get clip-on lights for the next time I do something. I was like, that's a good move. Looks good. But you like get up there. I was talking about this with Sam because it's like you get up and you're just kind of like, hey, I'm Danny. We're gonna play something, and then you're like wailing in this. You're hitting these beautiful notes, and you're doing like, and it's like incredible. Like you're really, really good. And so, if you are listening or watching this, and you're like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be good at something that I want to be good at. Hearing that you were not good at this at 15 and now you are this way, not even 10 years later.
I wish you could have found like video there, because somewhere on the internet there are videos of me singing. Maybe I took like private of the videos. I should have done. But like of me when I'm like 16, and it's different. Like it's the same voice. It's not a different voice. But honestly, like the only consistent thing about me singing, because I started singing when I was 15 and I wasn't good, but I kept doing it. The reason I brought up the Jeff Buckley thing is because like those are the songs that I learned to sing by singing.
Yes.
Like it's so funny that like Sam and I have played like this Jeff Buckley song, Lover You Should Have Come Over. I've been singing that song since I was like 14.
Yeah.
Or like not 14, like 16.
Yeah.
So I didn't learn I would learn to sing by like singing all these really hard ass songs, and wasn't very good at them. Like when I was like, one of the first songs I wanted to learn from a musical was the song Gethsemane from Jesus Christ Superstar.
Okay.
Where like Jesus, remember when I said that like acting isn't about art isn't self-serving?
Yeah.
So anyway, I was playing Jesus and no, I'm just kidding. But it's like this super hard high song. Anyway, I learned to sing by singing all this really difficult stuff. And the only kind of through line when I was singing, it wasn't that I could like belt really well, and it wasn't that I had all these things that are like quote unquote good about my voice now. It was just that I was always like, my teachers always told me you have a really malleable voice. Your voice is changing constantly. And part of that was like puberty, honestly, and like where I was developmentally in my life. But my voice has changed so much incremental change. And luckily when I was in college, I started taking singing more seriously. I had this amazing teacher, Catherine Jennings. We love you, Catherine.
Shout out,
Catherine. She's so funny. Yeah, honestly, like it's just constant incremental growth. And that's the only reason I feel like I can be a musician is because who I became as a singer is proof of concept of that. If making music can feel as like natural as singing has become, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Well, you also, it's crazy that you that you're only starting to consider yourself as a serious musician now, or a real musician now, because not even just vocally, but like lyrically, and this might be because you have a creative writing degree that you got from Stanford University. Sorry, that's crazy as well. I'm using the word crazy very liberally.
It's the Dweebo Academy.
I mean, that's very impressive.
I appreciate
go to that school, and
I had a great time.
Yeah. And so having that, I would imagine, has helped you. Like your lyrics are all very cool and interesting. Like you are a musician, and
I appreciate it.
Your voice is great, but I think the rest of you is also, it's not like your voice is so good and everything else is like like you're a very well-rounded musician, in my opinion.
Honestly, like being in school, this is why the reason I went to school and like for music for a year is because it was like, okay, let me just learn the rules. So that I can be better at breaking them. And even just things is like little things, like being able to play shows with people instead of by myself.
Right.
And, working with, producers with a lot more experience. And just, like learning the rules so that you can break them has been so valuable. And I feel like just making music has been demystified a lot in the last year, and it's something that I think I feel like now this is true. It feels like now it's like something that I probably won't go out of my life for the rest of my life, which before I went to school, I don't know if that was true, because I am kind of a polyglot in the sense that I just like to pick up something and start and then hard pivot to something else. So, but now I feel like it's, because there's talent and instinct, but then there's craft. And craft is something that is always there on your best days and on your worst days. Like, you don't get more talented. You just get stronger craft muscles.
Yeah.
The talent is always there, because talent is kind of smoke and mirrors. Talent is really just being in tuned. I just looked directly into the camera.
Well, now you have to. Yeah.
It's like I'm a hostage. If you don't see me, no. Talent is not about being good. It's about being in tune with yourself. Like it's just about being in tune with yourself. And the people who we perceive as talented, quote unquote, they are just probably more in tune with themselves, or better at expressing how they're in tune with themselves. They might not even be that in tune with themselves. They might just be good at expressing a little bit of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But think craft is so valuable, and you can't rely on it. Like, you need to leave it behind, to do whatever is you. There's this painter that I really like named Alice Neal. Have you heard of this person?
No.
She has this. I'm like totally paraphrasing this. My mom is a sculptor. I don't know if you picked up that in your.
My mom is a painter.
Whoa, really?
My moms could talk about art.
Oh my God! Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay,
that's
so
awesome.
Did you grow up with an awareness of?
Yeah.
Okay,
grew up going
to
and sorry, Mom, like hating museums.
Yep.
And I started liking museums when I was like 16. Also, I've worked so hard to say the word museum correctly.
Did you say, are you a museum person?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm not. Sorry.
But do you know people who say it?
I know
sorry,
people. Well, because I'm from New Jersey, so there's
people in New Jersey say it.
People at Western New Jersey. Do you say Wooder?
No, that's just Philadelphia. Okay, that is not.
That's Western New Jersey thing. Wooder Museum.
Dude, that's Philly.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, it's not Western New Jersey.
But it is, because I know people from Western New Jersey who say that.
It bleeds.
Oh yeah, sure.
This could be just be a fight, like a 3-hour fight. But anyway, okay, because I didn't know anyone from Philly who said museum, but all my friends make fun of me from college. They would all make fun of me because they're Californians.
Oh yeah, and Californians talk like. I guess they're kind of closer to, it's either a Valley Girl or like the transatlantic accent, like
see,
where it's like you don't have an accent.
It's mountains and water.
Yeah,
that's the transatlantic for you.
Yeah.
My mom's an artist, but so she loves Alice Neal. There's this Alice Neal quote where it's like anytime she sits down to paint, she'd be like, I have every person who's ever said anything good about me. And everybody who's ever said anything bad about me, they walk out of the room inside my head one by one. And as soon as the last person leaves, that's when you can start making something. Like, good art is made out of the unlearning of a lot of things.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that.
I know, it's so good. I'm totally butchering the quote, but
whatever that was very well said. So I can't imagine that whatever the actual quote is going to
probably
be
way better.
Blowing my mind. Yeah. That's a really good way to look at it. I guess it's like, it's hard sometimes, I think, to do your craft when your mind is clouded with like, what is this person, how does this person do their thing, or what is this person gonna say about this? Like, I know that there's a big part of I talk about this a lot too. I feel like it's like, it should be because it's fun for you. You should do something because it's fun for you, it's fulfilling for you, whatever. But there is a part of, I think everybody, maybe some people really are just like, I don't care what people think. I don't believe that people don't care. I think that like, even if it's a little bit, you still have it, and it's probably a muscle to have to be able to let go of that.
Yeah. I think that's true.
And like, that's just really, that's cool to hear that. I like the idea of that, of like truly being able to let go of like, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to start on this until I can recognize that I'm doing it because I want to.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to act like you're immune from all of those kind of human things. I mean, because you just got to kind of be in touch with everything about yourself, like with respect to that. I remember I had a friend, I told something to a friend of mine, she's a really good actor, and she was like, oh, I'm so jealous. And jealousy is not an emotion I think I feel comfortably. I think I can feel jealous sometimes, but that's not a phrase that I would just like say offhandedly. And it really stuck with me when she said it, because I was just like, shit, like, that's so good that you can just feel jealous and then let it go.
Do you mean that you don't feel it comfortably because when you feel it, it's like this terrible thing?
Yeah,
or
I'm
you
probably
just
like
don't feel
afraid.
it?
I'm probably just like afraid of how jealous I could feel.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or something like that. But okay. Whether it's with jealousy or with any emotion, like you just kind of like, I have immense respect for when somebody's just like, oh, I'm blank. And then they move on, because it just means it's like a part of it's just like a part of the architecture of your world.
Well, that's something that I think you have to work on too. I mean,
100%.
not you being, but you being everybody.
It's an intervention.
Yeah. I brought you here because I wanted to tell you that you need
Thanks
to
for letting me hold a
jealous
mic while you tell me.
Yeah.
This hasn't been live. This hasn't, yeah.
I think
this is
that
a YouTube video.
yeah, I'm just watching waveforms.
We're just watching
go by. No, I'm just kidding. It's like when you put on like a video of fish for your cat to like swat around that. That's like
that's got to be a real mindfuck.
Or like a baby, when a baby's like crying, you just put on it's like bubbles going across or whatever, and they're like,
woof.
Yeah.
I don't have any kids.
Me either. I have a nephew.
You have a nephew?
I have a 6-year-old nephew. He's a cutie.
Oh, sick.
Shout out Oliver. You're so smart. I love you.
Oliver?
Yeah, he's great.
Stay in school.
Stay in school. He's gonna go to a good. He's so smart. He's so smart.
He's gonna go to a good like a good college.
Like,
we're already placing bets.
That he's gonna go to a good university.
That's funny.
Yeah, he's gonna get a PhD. He's gonna be the first doctor but he's gonna.
Doogie Howser.
There we go. There's like a thing. This isn't embarrassing. It's fine. We're getting. Who cares? This is my podcast. I can edit it out if I want to. There's like a thing
that's
of
true.
like
You can.
Feeling jealous is a big thing for me, and I think that's part of that ties into like the performance anxiety that I have always felt, is like the attitude of like comparison all the time, of like,
of course,
how come this person can do this and I feel like I can't do it, but then I probably can. I just need to allow myself to feel like I can. And also allow myself to think that it doesn't matter what other people are doing. I can do whatever. Something that I have done, like it's like active work, but you can be like, it's like once I started acknowledging that I was jealous of people and being able to just say it, like, oh, I'm so jealous of her, or like, I'm so jealous that you can just do this. It becomes a lot easier to actually feel it versus like when I was like, I'm too proud to say that I'm jealous, and then I'm going to cry about it for hours because I'm so upset that this person gets what they want to do and I don't. That's so much more energy, and it's taken like active, like I'm talking actual years of like practice to get to that point. So I think it's possible. You just gotta like anything else. It's just, you gotta just do it.
Yeah, exactly. So. I definitely feel that, especially with, I now I'm realizing I came on a podcast about stage fright, but most of how I experience the emotion, I said this at the beginning, most of how I experience the emotions of stage fright, I think have to do with different forms of writing. Like anytime someone tells me I'm a good lyricist, I'm like, really? but it's just because the muscle's not as developed. It's just when a muscle isn't as developed, it's more sensitive, right? Yeah. So I feel like a lot of my, like anytime there's like, when there's that, like, you know, where I guess where insecurity lives, other things thrive, you know? Yeah. That's where the bacteria grows, the emotional bacteria. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, again, it's insane to me that you're like, that you don't recognize yourself as good leader. Even just, nobody sees themselves. And I don't say that to be like, oh, no, but you're right. Nobody's your own worst critic or whatever. Nobody ever sees, you know, people never see who they are. They always just see, you know, whatever distorted reflection they get in the mirror. But even just the way that you are speaking right now during this, polyglot, I haven't heard that word in a million years. I really try not to use big words. It's okay. I love using big words, but I get stuck on like 2 big words, and then I'm like, I'm just gonna keep using these. Yeah. So I sound. No, big words suck. I'm sorry. No, don't. That's actually the biggest thing I learned studying creative writing. I just poked myself. Oh no, that's terrible. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm great. I can't believe I just poked myself in the eye on live on air. Okay, sorry. We're live on the scene. It's bad. We have to call the ambulance. Should we We can take a pause. You run the show.
I don't care.
Okay.
I've never once
Blood
taken a
just
break.
trickles down. I'm fine.
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm tough.
It's
I'm
green.
Good.
No. We find out you're an alien.
Okay, using big words is okay. I bring that up only because, and I know people who are like you, where it's like sometimes people are so you can just tell how smart somebody is from like talking to them, and I think that. I'm not trying to inflate your already huge ego.
This place is gonna blow.
Yeah. There's like people who are just use vocabulary like very like fluidly like that, like to tie it into your lyrics. It's like it makes sense that your lyrics are good because the way that you're already like everyday vocabulary seems like it's just kind of maybe more expansive than people like.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where it's just like I studied writing.
Yeah.
Everyone I know is smarter than me. Like I'm just like I'm around. Like I grew
That's
up,
a
like,
nice way to
my
be.
siblings are smart. They're all alive. Are all super smart. One of my siblings is an incredible writer.
Nice.
And also like was a creative writing major, and I was just like the first, most of what I write is just or at least when I started writing, was just like a Sam Ritz facsimile. So, oh fuck, I did it again! I did it again!
I had to stop myself from calling out facsimile, but it's okay. What was
It's a facsimile. I'm gonna go to camera again. Okay, so facsimile is like a made up version of a thing. Okay, okay, and yeah, it's Latin.
Is that where we get fax machine from? Because it's a made up version of a paper that you're putting in.
No, but that's you hacked it. You hacked it. And I went to coding school, so you hacked it.
Thank you.
No.
What was the goal when you said, I'm going to go study creative writing?
Well, I didn't go say I was going to study creative writing. I was going to study theater.
Why did you not do that?
Did I not do theater?
Why did you not you have a degree in creative writing?
I have a degree in creative writing.
Why did you do that?
I'm just kidding. Well, okay. So I remember like when I was looking at colleges, I was looking at the theater programs of all these nerdy schools. Mm-hmm. I like thought about going to acting school, but again, I was like, I had heard, I want to go do stuff where you can make your own stuff. And
yeah,
I don't want to decide exactly what I'm going to do when I'm 18, basically. And I went to school. I didn't think I was going to go to Stanford. It all happened very randomly. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to study theater. It's going to be awesome. I remember they had these pictures on the wall of the theater department of like all the people who declared their major.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to be that first picture. Like, I'm going to be that first fucking picture. And there ain't nothing anybody going to do about it. But then I didn't. It was my friend Sam,
okay,
not my brother, and not your boyfriend.
Right.
A lot of Sams.
A lot of Sams
out there.
If you're listening to this,
and your name is
naming
Sam.
your kid Sam.
If you're listening to this and you named your kid Sam, fucking get the whiteout out. Go to the birth certificate and let's make some edits.
Go right to the birth certificate and just doctor it, and
Yeah.
don't tell anybody.
Or you could give your kid a doctorate.
Oh,
Dr. Sam. No. Doctorate? That was pretty big yourself. That was...
the word doctorate?
No, you said to use doctor as a verb.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty,
Oh, thank you.
I had a tennis coach when I was a kid who he would always call things baller, even though he was an adult man. Like he paid taxes.
That's amazing.
So that was pretty baller to invoke my old tennis coach.
Yeah.
But
I thought you were gonna tell a story about your tennis coach like whiting out I thought
honestly
I didn't realize
he
you
would
just brought that up to
say
be able
the word
to
baller.
to give yourself permission to say baller.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that.
Dude, you would have kept sleuthing. You would have found out that my Snapchat when I was a kid was D Ritzy Baller 7.
Wow, because of him?
No, but that was in my ecosystem at the time, so it's interesting because I love basketball now. Like I'm a huge basketball fan.
Okay.
But that was before I was into basketball. That was some, that was some predictive analytics right there.
I did see a picture of you on your Instagram, if you go back far enough, of you like mid jumping and you have a tennis racket, and I was like, oh, Danny Ritz plays tennis. Yeah. And then I didn't really go down that. I didn't know that was
I like on a tennis court?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
and
I was on my club tennis team.
Okay.
In college. I'm very proud of that.
Nice. Okay.
No. It's actually connected to what I'm talking about. I'll get back on track.
Yeah.
Because I went there determined to study theater, and I threw myself into the theater world. The show that we were at last night, in fact,
Yes.
with the guy,
Yeah, the guy.
who was in the deep fake video.
Yeah.
We saw a weird show. That a professor of mine made.
I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was so
Yeah.
funny and really good.
It was super fun.
Yeah.
That deep fake was really convincing.
I didn't know it was a deep fake.
Neither did I. I was
didn't at
so
all.
embarrassed.
Sam raised his hand and he was like, I could have told you.
I know,
was like,
and
"You
so did
No, you didn't.
And so did the guy I was sitting next to, my friend from college, and I was like, ugh, damn. I can tell that guy used to be an engineer because he figured it out. But maybe I won't survive when the robots come.
Yeah,
I'll be like, hey, do your worst. I'll try and pour coffee on it. That'll be my
right,
solution.
so it'll just start sparking. And,
yeah, it's not gonna work. And they'll be like, we thought of that, and then it'll put it at the coffee in my face, and then hit me with the mug.
Right.
I'll die quickly and quietly. So I essentially no. I was all in the theater world. I was in this amazing play, and then COVID happened, and I took my first creative writing class in the spring during COVID. Also, when I used a DAW for the first time, that's when I
Nice.
started making music.
What DAW was it? Was it Audacity?
It was GarageBand.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
That's great.
Audacity. No, I was all MIDI.
Okay.
I was all MIDI instruments. If you are a Logic user or a GarageBand user, and you have ever tried the Alchemy synth, we're the same. I use this one thing in GarageBand.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm sure your listener base is all up on Alchemy.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I get a lot of DMs about Alchemy.
They're like, hey, can you get me 10% off on this free synth? No. So, I took my first creative writing class. I had this amazing professor, Rose Whitmore. She's the best. And then, it was hard on Zoom to do theater, just in general. Performing was really hard on Zoom. Like now in 2024, I'm like, oh, performing's just my identity. Yeah, that early pandemic sucked because it was like my identity got, rocked and socked in the mouth. That sounds dirty. I didn't mean it to sound dirty. My identity was cool, but it was hard. It was really confusing. So I just tried to immerse myself in things that felt, like I could do and go deep into. So I started writing, took this awesome class, and then I threw myself in it. I was going to do the minor, didn't know what my major was going to be. Secretly, the creative writing major was just easier to do than the theater major. So I switched.
Yeah.
And I was really close with Rose. And I had a great experience. It was also very craft oriented. Stanford is an amazing creative writing program. There are amazing professors there. It's funny that it's like CS program gets hyped up, but it has the one of the best faculties in the country. It is insane to me how just the high I was proximate to such good writing, and with the subject of confidence as a writer, with lyrics or whatever, I know how to write, but writing songs is so different than writing anything else. People say that lyrics are poetic, but songwriting is not poetry. I was on the fence between studying poetry and studying. I technically studied prose, short stories, but I really did a little bit of everything. I will just say again, songwriting is not poetry. And I had a professor, a really good poetry professor, who we talked about that. He taught this whole class about how they're different. But songwriting is its own unique art. And it's funny that a lot of people conflate poetry and songwriting, but I think they're really different.
I think a lot of people think, me, and I'm trying to get out of this, is you think of what's the rhyme scheme? It's when you're thinking structurally about songs, I think that's where the it can become a stuck or whatever. That's a thing that I say a lot. The
best example of a song I can use to demonstrate how versatile songwriting is in terms of you can say so little and it says so much, or you can get so specific and it can say so much. The song "I Bet on Losing Dogs" by Mitski.
Yeah.
The verse of that song is just my baby, you're my baby. The language is so simple, but because of the music, because of the performance, because of the melody, there's just 100 reasons why the words don't matter that much. And then the chorus of that song is this super imagistic imagistic. Jesus. It's just a big image. You know what I mean? And it's so vivid and it's so hyper specific, but it's both. Like it's both. If the verse of that song was as simple or was as complicated as the chorus, was as complicated as the chorus, that song would not have the same effect. And then the same is true if the chorus was as simple.
Yeah.
So I just think that songwriting is this really unique art form. And it's a puzzle. It's a puzzle for sure.
Yeah. Oakley knows about that. He's coming back to give his 2 cents. Oh no. And he's gonna reclaim his place behind the sign.
That's good.
Do you want to? I'm trying to do games. I have a game. It's not that exciting.
Are we gonna play a game right now?
We can play a game. Yeah.
That's awesome.
A game that I made.
I like games. Games underrated.
You heard that?
I think there was a couple
Heard it
years
here
where I
first.
was embarrassed at how much I liked games.
Okay. Well, this is like I'm gonna put an asterisk next to game.
I know I'm hyping up the game.
It's
too
okay.
much.
The game is just it's a matching.
Are we gonna do your taxes?
We're gonna do my. Oh. I did.
IRS.
Yeah.
Look away.
Don't look away. I might need to still file a New York State return because I worked in New York State for 6 months out of the year, but I only did my New Jersey return, and I don't know if I need to do a New York return. I just do what tomorrow? Okay, well, that's...
My baby. Cue the Mitski.
Yeah. I saw her. She was amazing.
You
Live.
saw her?
I saw her.
Dude, I love Mitski.
She was awesome.
No, it doesn't need to be said how awesome Mitski is, but
yeah,
she's one of my heroes.
She was great. Okay, so
Just straight
actually,
up.
I don't want you to.
want
you to look at it.
Did you? You found the articles at my school newspaper.
Yes,
you found one that I wrote.
I found one that you wrote. It was beautiful.
Which one was that?
Look at this. You're a little. Danny is a youngster. Did you write that about yourself? Did you write that you were a youngster?
No, I didn't write that. I didn't write the caption.
Sitting in a chair and playing the cello.
This.
What beyond music notes on the page can we learn from a music teacher?
Okay.
It's a really beautiful piece. So you said that I appreciate that you are consistent with describing your family as Royal Tenenbaums with more emotional attention.
I said emotional attention, then now I would say love.
Yeah.
We don't not love each other. Oh, did I write this about Cassia? She's my teacher.
You wrote it about...
Oh, shit, I probably shouldn't have said her name. But she's the best. She was my cello teacher. Yeah, sorry. I don't mean to look... I forgot, because I published like 2 or 3 articles, because I wrote for my school paper for a little bit.
Yes.
But wrote for my school paper implies I did any sort of journalism. I wrote for a creative nonfiction column. And I wrote a lot of creative nonfiction in college.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what I wrote the most of in college.
Okay. Creative nonfiction.
Super fun.
And
essays.
that I think translates well to what you write as a musician now, if I may say that.
Oh,
but,
interesting.
This is a beautiful thing. I also
Thank
found
you.
this about you.
That person, the person who wrote that article, Val, turned into like one of my really good friends.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful article also about you and your like making music.
This is the first music I ever made. I just like put it out. That's the other thing. Some like now that I'm in a music industry context for the first time, like I had a conversation with like somebody who's like framed themselves as in the industry, and they were like, don't put out music until people know about it.
Why? How else are people gonna know about it?
It's like, oh, if you're like making inroads. And I understood his logic, but I think about the person, like if that person, me who was like just noodling in Logic in GarageBand for the first time and was like making 4 songs for a class, like it was so instinctive to me to put that out. You know what I mean? Like that just felt part of it. Like it just felt like part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's still on Spotify to this day. I just renewed for another year.
It's going to be Kid thing.
The Distro Kid, yeah, it's going to be on there for another year. So check out Hence the Heart.
Check it out.
An EP title that I joke with the person I came up with it with that it sounds like a startup.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, total tangent.
That's okay. Well, we're about to do something so it doesn't even matter. But
are we gonna do the Wordle?
we could do the Wordle. We could do the Hurdle. We could do
What's the Hurdle?
The Hurdle. Oh, Hurdle is actually great. It's you listen to a second of a song.
Oh,
and
nice.
you try to guess it, and then it gives you 2 seconds, and then 3, and then
I've
so
done
on.
this.
Yeah.
Only with Beatles songs though.
Oh, there's a Beatles only one.
Do you know what song that is?
Do it again. Can you do another second? I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay, so you don't look at this. You can stay where you are. You don't have to look at the computer at all. It's a matching game. It's a name. Oh, fuck. It's okay.
No, I'll look. I'll just look at the camera.
Just look at the camera.
Is this weird? Am I looking at the camera too much? It's fine.
It's fine. I also don't know this one. Last time I did a recording with
There
this, it
comes
only
a
got
time.
40 minutes of video before it said the storage is low and shut down. So I tried to clear out some storage.
Nice.
Okay, well, anyway.
That video of Vonnie interview gone.
Gone.
Sorry,
Vonnie. Yeah.
No, I love you, Vonnie.
So it's a match. I love Vonnie too. She's the best ever.
I know.
I shouted you out in her thing.
No way.
I referred to you as a really great performer.
Oh, that's nice.
Maybe if you listened to that episode all the way through, you'd
Yeah,
know
I
that.
didn't get all the way through.
So I have it's a Ritz themed quote matching game.
Oh God.
So
that's so
you have
embarrassing.
no, it's not. I mean, it might be. There's one thing that
It's
I
okay.
will say, but I could totally cut it. So
No,
you
no,
have
please.
I'm going to read you 4 quotes.
That's so funny.
And you have to tell me if it's attributed to, or the quote is not attributed to, but about you, yourself, and your band or whatever you're.
whatever I do. Yeah.
We have a quote about David Ritz, who's a music author, who actually wrote a biography about Marvin Gaye.
Oh, so
and
cool.
apparently co-wrote Sexual Healing and like sued Marvin Gaye because he
David
didn't get
Ritz
credited.
did?
Yeah. Can you believe he's like your uncle or
I gotta see if I'm
something.
related to this guy.
Maybe you are.
I recently found on Instagram another Danny Ritz, who's a bald
Australian guitarist.
I know, we gotta meet.
You
I
gotta-
really hope, like, people, I was saying at the very beginning of our conversation how in the music industry success is so ephemeral. Success for me will be meeting the other Danny Ritz.
Right. And like you shake hand, it'll be like that meme.
We shake hands, the Spider-Man meme, I kiss him on his head,
Yeah.
we're done.
That was
He
the meme
can
I was
kiss me
referring
on
to.
mine too. I'm just
We
kidding.
also are gonna have a
Danny
quote
Ritz, I'm not
from,
gonna kiss you on the head. Sorry.
but he might. You
Doing
don't
too much
know.
interrupting, I'm sorry.
It's okay. We have another quote will be by Ritz the Cracker brand, and then we also have Ritz Carlton the hotel chain.
Nice, that's perfect.
So I'm gonna just read you a quote, and you have to tell me who
That's
it's
so
about.
funny.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's go. So
That's
this
hilarious.
one here's first things first. We have quote. And what Ritz showed us was an incredibly flawed and broken man who was capable when he wanted to do the work of absolute musical genius.
I'm
What's
gonna,
that about?
I'm gonna go on a limb and say that that's about David Ritz.
Ding, 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 ding.
Let's go.
That was Tim Schneider via Goodreads on David Ritz's novel Divided Soul, The Life of Marvin Gaye.
Okay, so somebody said that about
David Ritz.
Okay.
And then remember, we can have either Ritz Crackers, Ritz Carlton, or Danny Ritz and his band as the remaining.
Okay, that's
3.
what's remaining.
That's what's remaining. You already got the first one, which is awesome. I thought if I had a printer, I was gonna print you out like one of those like children's thing where you draw the line.
That's so
I don't have
funny.
a printer.
That's okay.
So the next one is, this is in all caps. I love them. What else can I say?
That's gotta be. I really want that to be the Ritz Carlton hotels, but I know it's Ritz Cracker.
It is Ritz Cracker.
Damn.
I can't believe you knew that. This is from Cliff and Michelle Jackson on May 20th, 2014 on the Ritz Cracker website. I went through a lot of
They
reviews.
have a quote from 2014 on the website.
So all the quotes I realized as I was scrolling, I was like, they're from like 2016 or before. I think because Ritz Crackers became like bad after that. Like they like changed. I went on Amazon to look at reviews and they all were like, they changed the formula. So I think
Wow.
that the Ritz Crackers is probably, deceptive marketing, keeping old reviews pre-formula change on the website.
Wow.
Which is
Genuinely, I had okay, in a class I was in, professor was talking about like commercially, money-wise, like brand partnerships are a huge thing
yes.
for musicians. Like it's just like a way to make money if you're an
Yes.
artist, right? And so I was playing a game with my friends, like what company would we feel comfortable being aligned with?
Yeah.
And I don't know how I didn't think of Ritz Cracker. I was like really not sure. I was like, who would be like, but that's such a
Yeah.
no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
Ritz Cracker. You might not know who I am for the next 31 years. But how old am I now? 20. If you have interest in a 54-year-old musician and actor, etc., to make puns about a shared name with, give me the ring.
You
Sorry.
heard it here first. All right, remaining 2. We have
Sorry.
this is a quote. Mediocre at best. A lot of little mistakes and mix-ups / screw-ups. It didn't feel like a Ritz.
Damn. Depending on what era of my music. No, I'm just kidding. That's got to be. I would guess that that's a Ritz Carlton
That's the
hotel.
Ritz Carlton of Central Park. I tried to find a good review from North Philly Ritz Carlton to pay homage to your roots as
My
a
roots
Philadelphia
as a Philadelphian.
citizen.
Yeah.
Last quote we have. Okay, we have quote. The Ritz experience is wonderful and unforgettable. It always packs a punch but never fails to go down smooth. It's a time machine to an age of cigars, paper maps, and phone booths. You can all but hear the vinyl crackle. Ridiculous.
That's me.
That's you.
Did Val write that?
I asked Sam earlier today. I said, "Can you write a review of playing music with Danny?"
Sam wrote that?
And Sam wrote that. He said, "Do you want it to be like?" I was like, "Maybe make it sound like it could be about a cracker or a hotel."
That's so funny.
And he did a great job.
He kind of nailed that. Like my friend Val, she's an amazing writer. I don't mean to. She's an amazing writer.
You're allowed to say that your friends are amazing.
She's
stuff.
awesome. Just read her work. Just Google her. She's Googleable. She's like now if you
What's her last name?
Trapp. Valerie Trapp. She's Val. I love you. She's an amazing writer. And anyway, that's like a SNL impression of her writing style.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I already said she's an amazing writer, so now I can make fun of her. But I think that's just. I think that's just a newspaper writing style.
Yeah. Well, he did a good job. He did kind of encapsulate your whole vibe. I do have
Cigar?
Yeah, cigar. You can all but hear the vinyl crackle. Beautiful.
That was pretty good.
I do have a bonus question for you.
Is this for all of them? Okay.
No, there's only one more. I found let's see. My document looked crazy earlier. Okay, well, I have a bonus quote that you need
No, I'm
to tell
saying
me
this like it's not they're all on the table again.
Yes, they're all on the table.
Okay,
again.
this is really what we've been practicing.
This is a
for.
quote. You have to tell me who's attributed to having said this or written or whatever this quote. Okay, it says, quote, "I love two things, soccer and movie."
Who said that?
Who said that?
I love two things, soccer and movie. I don't know. I'm going to go on a limb given the context. Did I say that?
You said that on Facebook in February 1st, 2015.
That's right.
Yeah.
I did.
Imagine if it was David Ritz who said that. Imagine if it was a random tweet put out by the Ritz-Carlton Hotel.
I love soccer and movie.
I
love soccer and movie.
In my stalking of my research for people, I really try to do as much as I can. And going back in time on your Facebook page was one of the craziest experiences.
You went back in time on my Facebook.
I went back to at least February 1st,
2015. Do you want to tell your listeners if you saw it? I'm okay with you telling them what my name on Facebook was.
I didn't see. Did you have a different name?
Can we look at your document now to see if it's there?
Yeah.
I thought
let's go back to.
Oh no, you don't have the name.
I only took the quote.
My name on Facebook to this day. If you look at my Facebook profile page, let's see if it comes up for me. Because I made this when I was really into soccer. It's Danny Super Mario Ritz. But it's not because of Mario. It's because of Mario Balotelli, an Italian soccer player.
A classic mix-up.
Look, and it says,
"Oh,
Mario Balotelli's assistant at Manchester City." That's my old Facebook from when I was like 10.
So that's the one I went to, chief visionary at Theraton or whatever it is.
Look, it's my name. Yeah, you guys, this is not riveting for people who can't see this.
I think that all of this is really well done because it says that you graduate from what I assume is your high school in 2025. And then if you go back far enough, it says that you started there in 1993. And then like some of your statuses were just you saying, "I have an announcement."
Wait, really? Yeah, I was such a little absurd. I was such a little absurd little loser boy.
I had so much fun
when I was little. It's like that's the thing. Like that's what I mean. It's all connected. Like I've been the same person since I was 15.
Right. Well, in 2015, you were 15 years old, right?
I was 14.
That's insane.
I was born in 2001. Wow. Oh yeah, I'm young, or I'm old, depending on your perspective.
When were you born? When's your birthday?
January 8th, 2001.
Okay.
It was a Monday.
Just like any other Monday, except
just like
this time.
Any other Monday. There's an AI David Bowie. Did you know that?
Is that the one where it's like, see how if you can sing like him, or is that Freddie Mercury? There's like
no,
a thing.
I think that's Freddie Mercury. No, I just got sent by my brother some like AI music thing, and I tried it was like ChatGPT but for making like 30-second songs, and I tried to have it make a David Bowie song about fondue.
Okay.
And it said like we can't use real artists, but we'll use different tags, and then it was like male, glam rock, 1970s. So we basically just reverse engineered it, but the song was terrible. So
okay.
David Bowie's estate, don't worry. You're fine.
You're good. You're safe. Do you have any other things that you want to acknowledge? Do you have any I feel like we've reached the end. I had so much fun.
I had a lot of fun too.
I had a lot of fun.
Do you have any other questions?
Any other questions? No, I never. This is the thing. Well, okay, yeah, I wrote things to discuss, going to Stanford and being a smarty, WTF.
Stanford was fun.
What did you want to do with a creative writing degree?
Not right.
Yeah. And
learn how to tell stories.
And I think that you do a good job of that. And I think that the fact that you, to tie it out, to wrap a little, to put it in a little bow.
Like an Acura December to Remember sales event car bow. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
The big red one?
The big red one. When I bought a car at the beginning of last year.
Good for you.
And they made me take a picture of it with the red bow on it. And I said, nobody's ever seen this. I hate this so much. Don't make me do it. He made me do it.
It's going to be the picture for the episode. It's going to be that picture.
No.
No, I won't make you do it. But with my face, just like photoshopped over most of it.
Okay, maybe I could actually make that happen.
No,
I'm willing to share. But also it was just so, I was like, I made a joke about the red bow and they were like, wait, we have to. And I was like, no, I was joking.
Yeah. That was like me. Sorry, before we put a bow on it.
Yeah.
I made a joke about using the Apple Vision Pro in an Apple store recently, and then they made me do a demo.
Right. They're like, well, now you think our technology's funny? Well, now let's see.
There's a lot of that. You honestly feel like you're conducting.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah. That's my impression of a conductor.
That was a really good impression.
You were wrapping things into a bow?
I was wrapping things. I was putting a bow on it because I think I was saying that, because you said that you went to Stanford, you wanted to write short stories. I feel like to wrap it up nicely, you as a musician, as a performer, your tendency to enjoy performing more than possibly the average person, to feel comfortable on the stage, to have all these good lyrics and this good voice, you are telling stories through your music, and maybe you're not doing it in the way that you like assumed you would be. But I'm here to validate you and say that you are a musician. You're a real musician and you're a great musician. And I'm happy that you came on my podcast.
Oh, I'm so happy I got to go on your podcast. It's been so fun.
I'm glad.
And yeah, it's been awesome. You're great. You're a great host.
Thank you.
And you're also a musician. Because remember, you ordered something and you got candy.
I got candy. I didn't get the candy this time.
Right, you didn't.
But I got...
So actually, take it... No, I'm just kidding. It's the candy that decides it.
I haven't looked inside of the sound hole. Maybe the Laffy Taffy's taped in there. And it's a little puzzle.
Around. Yeah. You're like, this guy sounds terrible. The ukulele. No, it's been a pleasure. I'm so grateful. And... it's been a blast.
I'm glad. Do you have anything to plug? Any shows upcoming? Anything to... where can people find you?
People can find me... You can find me here. She's not letting me leave. No. I am... I would say the best place to find me is on Instagram, at Danny Ritz. It very easly segues to my Spotify and my Apple Music and all of the places where you can find my music, where I'm also called Danny Ritz. But I would say that's sort of a good home base. But yeah... Across all streaming platforms, Danny Ritz. And then I'm on Instagram at Danny Ritz. And I'm on TikTok at Danny Ritz with 2 more Z's.
He's on Facebook as
Danny Super Mario Ritz. Yeah. And then in terms of things I'm plugging, I have a couple of shows in the future, but a little while in the future. Mm-hmm. So right now I'm playing a show at the Mercury Lounge on June 7th.
Oh.
But that I've recently, yesterday found out that the date is kind of in flux. Okay. So just be on the lookout on my Instagram. You'll find information about that. And then I'm playing Brooklyn Made on August 24th. And that date is solid.
That's going to be a fun one too.
I know.
Lots of other very, very good musicians joining him.
Yeah.
Owen, right? Owen and Vonnie. Do we know?
That's the Mercury one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's going to be great.
That's a sooner one. And then I'm playing with Vonnie at Brooklyn Made too.
Okay.
Vonnie and I are doing a double header.
Nice.
Which is awesome. Vonnie's great. Check out Vonnie's stuff too. Vonnie whatever. Yeah. So I'm doing those things. That's August 24th. I forget if I said that. But yeah, just keep your eyes on my at Danny Ritz and Danny Ritz. That's who I am. It's just what it is.
And this has been Danny Ritz. Yeah.
I thought we were going to say it at the same time. This has been
the
news.
Oh.
Shit. Fuck. The prompter's off. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Thanks. Okay, go to bed.
Okay, go to bed. You're tired. Stop. You've been up so long.
Yeah, it's 4:30 p.m.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you want, you can follow the show on Instagram at Curing My Stage Fright. You can email the show at curingmystagefright@gmail.com. As always, music is by Sam Levine and art is by Kelly King. All right, I will see you in the next one.